This country, my Jamaica, has given the globe at least 6 genres of music. Undoubtedly, reggae is the most popular of them all. For that reason and more, all month long we'll be jamming to the sweet sounds of the reggae beat. On today's show, the story of the music. This is Jamaica Magazine and I am Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us, it promises to be another informative show.
Somebody out there want you. Them not just want you, them need you. Yes, you are someone's type. So sign up today for the JIS Blood Drive and save a life. February 7, 58A Halfway Tree Road, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Just call 926-3590-4 and sign up. Or email your name and contact details to radio@jis.gov.jm. JIS Blood Drive, February 7. You are someone's type.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, February 3. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government will be re-establishing its leadership and direction of institutions that call upon the budget of the country. Mr. Holness asserts that without clear direction, several institutions have large administrative budgets and small program budgets. This, he says, results in great disparity and fragmentation and has little effect on their intended targets.
Not only is the government going to ensure that there is concerted effort and unison in policy, that there is a direction, but the government must ensure that there is efficiency as well.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking at Thursday's launch of the Absorptive Capacity Program by the Heart Trust NTA and the Joint Committee for Tertiary Education. The program aims to improve job prospects and opportunities for tertiary-level training in growth sectors such as business process outsourcing, tourism and hospitality, agriculture, transportation and logistics. 2,200 students have already been enrolled in the program. Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, is maintaining its growth trend for tax collections. The TAJ says preliminary figures for December 2016 show that net collections were $26.6 billion, 27.3% above the target of $20.9 billion. Year-to-date net collections now stand at $191.9 billion, which is $12.6 billion or 7% above the $179.2 billion projected target. This performance continues the positive trend, which was set over the previous 2 quarters and during the 2015-2016 financial year. TAJ is attributing this positive outcome to the continuation of focused compliance strategies. These include closer monitoring of arrears, which is facilitated through the implementation of the Revenue Administration Information System, RACE. The agency has vowed to continue to utilize all avenues available to encourage and foster voluntary compliance, while aggressively pursuing tax evaders through intelligence and enforcement actions. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Dr. Horace Chang, says government is committed to increasing Jamaica's expenditure on research and development to meet the country's growth objectives.
Small countries like ours have to begin to venture in these areas with aggressiveness, to find answers and solutions to problems in our own way that can lay the foundation for economic growth and development.
He says several studies have shown a direct positive link between research and development investment and economic development and growth.
I think we have to find a way to redirect resources here. The government may not have the resources, given all that I mentioned, to put there, but the entire country has to begin to respect and give recognition to research and give support.
Dr. Chang was presenting the keynote address at the University of the West Indies Research Day recently. He challenged the UWI and other tertiary institutions to expand their research programs and called on the private sector to seek out lucrative partnerships with universities in research and development. Government has launched the Jamaican Standard Specification for Coffee, JS 61-2016, a revision of the 1977 coffee standard. Agricultural Minister Carl Samuda says it sends a signal to the world that the Jamaica coffee brand not only meets international standards, but is also the coveted brand of the world.
We have to ensure that, and we certainly will hope, that those agents of the world who try to pirate our brand will also have to go through a process of testing to certify whether or not what they are advertising is the genuine product or just that they are pirating our brand.
He was speaking at Wednesday's launch at the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. The standard provides specifications for coffee and mandates the required blend for exportable High Mountain or Blue Mountain coffee. It includes specifications for processing and handling coffee, color blend requirements, changes in test methods, storage conditions, and labeling. There are also specific definitions of coffee at various stages and details regarding instant coffee. The standard is mandatory and must be used by farmers, producers, licensed coffee blenders, exporters of Jamaican coffee, coffee importers, grinders, roasters, brewers, and consumers. And finally, over 4,270 students from 116 schools island-wide will be able to sit CSEC Principles of Accounts (POA) and Principles of Business (POB) free of cost this year. They are benefiting from over $13 million in support from the National Commercial Bank (NCB) under its CSEC POA POB National Bursary Program. Education Minister Senator Roel Reid says the scholarship program is a welcomed support of government's efforts to ensure more students are qualified to pursue tertiary education.
The NCB Foundation's commitment to underwriting these bursaries allows some students, yes, to sit at least the minimum of 5 subjects required to enter a tertiary institution, actually no cost to them. Bear in mind that the government offers support for math, English, science subject, and of course IT, but not everybody do in fact sit to science or IT. This year we as a government have supported an additional subject for students who are on the PATH program and award of the state.
The bank electronically transferred the money to schools earlier this week during an awards function at the Arden High School. To qualify for the bursary, each school must have a sit rate of 90% in each of the 2 business subjects. Only students who have attained at least 70% in the subject areas can receive the bursaries. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your eat.
Keep the island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
It's time to recap major achievements of the government in 2016.
The provision of amenities to rural communities. New local authorities sworn in. Managing storm threats. This is the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development Year in Review. During 2016, Jamaica faced a major storm threat, and government agencies quickly activated the National Disaster Response Mechanism. The island was thankfully spared direct impact, but a few parishes were affected by flooding and landslides. Parish disaster management teams quickly went about cleanup and rehabilitation response.
I want to assure the country that the government will continue, if called upon again, to take and to make the same decisions, because we are a government that put people first in real terms.
The local government ministry also had to respond to potential disasters of the man-made kind. After a section of the Royalton Hotel in Hanover collapsed, a 30-day stop order was issued on the construction. The stop order was lifted after a committee established by the ministry gave the all clear. Local government elections were held in November, Mayors across the country were subsequently sworn into office. In 2016, the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development embarked on a national cleanup program. This was in an effort to curtail the spread of mosquito-borne diseases such as the Zika virus, which at the time was affecting the country. Approximately $300 million was spent on the program.
To assist the community in the fight against this mosquito that has been reaping havoc across Jamaica for the last year and a half.
Access to the Riverton City disposal site has been significantly improved. The local government ministry collaborated with the Mexican government and spent $1.8 million to rehabilitate 1.65 kilometers of roadway leading to the area.
Despite your best efforts, if you don't maintain what you put down, then after a while it is going to deteriorate.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced the appointment of an enterprise team to identify a preferred waste management provider for the divestment of the Riverton landfill. The 9-member team, chaired by Littleton Shirley, is to provide its report by mid-2017.
What is likely to happen is that you will now create a more organized industry. You would be creating more employment around waste, solid waste collection and waste management.
Contracts were signed for the acquisition of 2 new units for the Jamaica Fire Brigade. Ground was broken in late 2016 on the construction of a $10 million pilot water shop project in Pennant, Clarendon.
What we are doing today is to start a process to eliminate once and for all the degrading experience of our citizens who on a daily basis have to use any means at their disposal to obtain water.
The community of Alexandria in St. Anne now boasts a new branch library, provided through the collaboration of the St. Anne Parish Council, the Jamaica Library Service, and the Government of Japan. The Cambridge Community Development Resource Center in St. James was officially opened in December, courtesy of $20 million in funding from the United States Agency for International Development under its Community Empowerment and Transformation Project Phase 2. Several infirmaries across the island were upgraded during the year.
We're going to be changing the names of the infirmaries. We're going to be doing a lot more to lift the social basket of that organization.
Restoring communities, improving living conditions in deep rural Jamaica, building stronger parish councils. That was the mantra of the Local Government and Community Development Ministry during 2016.
Let's celebrate Jamaica to the world. Fastest man in the world. First Jamaican woman to win gold in Olympic 100-meter sprint. An upcoming global superstar. Mouth-watering meals. And a vibrant set of people. We are Jamaicans. Let's get together and bring back the love.
How much do you know about reggae? Yes, Robert Nesta Marley is the most popular figure of the music. But there is so much more to learn and appreciate about this uniquely Jamaican creation. Watch this. The origin of Jamaica's most imaginative and recognized cultural product is steeped in mystery. Could reggae have been born in a tenement yard on 5th Street, Trench Town? Or was it composed by chance in a studio that would later be made famous for the coincidence? To learn the real story behind the music, you'll have to go back, way back, some 60-odd years or so, not to a specific place or person, but to the instance when the beat changed.
I would like to go back to the 40s because in Jamaica at that time there was only live music, which was a good thing because that's where the instrumentalists that contributed so greatly to development of, and the beginning of Jamaica music started from, because they were the big bands, the Roy Coburns, you know, the Sonny Bradshaws and so forth in those early days.
From live music to mento and then quickly to the blue beat, the North American import rhythm and blues then fused effortlessly with jazz to produce ska. This was the 1950s.
Ska started out of the influence of rhythm and blues. We didn't like rock and roll too much, and so we wanted to make our own. So ska came out of that, the faster beat.
Now do a dip.
By 1966, the sharp, choppy ska beat gave way to the lingering melodic tempo of rocksteady.
Rocksteady became slower, where you have a more one drop. You know, the drummer was doing that one drop, and then the musicians played around it, and the bass line, you know, the bass line started, they slowed up to go with the drumming.
Before that, you got 16 beats, and drop to one drop, drop to 8. So it's
Rocksteady, the rhythm, the ska still continue, but the bass rock, and the guitar and the piano ska same way, but the bass, the emphasis on the bass, so you fall back and this had alto was alright. So you rock and then you steady.
The slower beat created a songwriter's paradise. Pop vocal groups emerged on the scene, and the lyrics they penned bordered on hard-hitting social commentary. But there was one setback.
Cox and Dodd tried to have that drive-in sound system music going, and Rocksteady wasn't that drive-in. And so in 1968, reggae was introduced to Jamaica.
If reggae can ever be edged to a set place, then 13 Brentford Road is its home. It was here at Studio One in 1968 that Rocksteady briefly went back 20 years, married the folk rhythms of mento, and gave birth to reggae.
Drop to 8, so it's then reggae.
The people could have easily said, I don't want that, and I don't want that, this is too slow and all, but it didn't. It didn't go like that. It was between the dance, the sound system and so forth. It just happened, and I can't tell you when, how, it just happened, and we just went straight into it.
The guitar led the reggae music orchestra, and the bass maintained the melodic patterns in the background. It is interesting to note that even though the fusion would change the course of local music history forever, it was to be one of its most celebrated strokes of luck.
No, I didn't really want to give out this piece of information, but since we're at it, I won't be mean. Clement Dad brought a piece of machinery to the studio for about a year. It was sitting there, and no one knew exactly what to do with it. And so they hooked it up one day and decided to implement it. And they discovered it was a tape delay. And so they hooked it into the machine and they started doing it into the recording. So when they put the guitar sound through the tape delay, it comes back saying, chick, 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 chick. The rest of studios hearing this recording out there thought it was the guitar making that and just copied that, and that was the birth of reggae music.
Jackie Mitu invited Larry Marshall to try out on the new sound. The experiment yielded Nanny Goat and Baby Tell Me Why. But it was Toots and the Maytals, Do the Reggae, that christened the music form forever. Reggae would deliver dance crowds from the sluggish rocksteady beat. The people needed a change in pace. Reggae upped the tempo. Reggae turned up the heat on some of the social and economic challenges that the people were facing. It premiered as the voice of the people.
Reggae is life. Reggae is it's a music that consoles the mind spiritually, physically, mentally, you know. So dealing with reggae is to uplift, to inform, and to educate, because reggae music is coming from the heartbeat of the people, which is people within the inner city and people at large who are the downtrodden, you know, and people who don't really have a voice, you know. Reggae speaks for them.
It was like it wasn't a competition like overseas it is now. It was about love. You know, it was, people was more at them head together and used to write songs about what we say happening around me and more love songs, you know.
Reggae was a potent messenger for the Rastafari philosophy, which single-handedly cemented the music form as a cornerstone of Jamaican culture.
Rastafari is much more widespread than the average Jamaican even realizes. Is that the consciousness, the awareness of a people who are coming from the bottom of the totem pole and was always given some strange philosophy of some unknown people to worship as God. And to come from that and to be able to transform yourself, to see yourself as God, is a phenomenal transformation.
It was more than just a message of let's say, consciousness, but also a message of love, a message that could unite people of all race, class, color, creed, and religion. Actually uniting the world through music, whether it be African people, you know, whether it be white, black, you know, Chinese. I thought that this music had that ability to do that. And that was my vision, just to be part of that foundation upon which now, you know, lies this rich musical heritage.
Trenchtown, West Kingston was the bed of the spiritualism.
What used to happen in Trenchtown is that there were a lot of teachings going on. You know, the Marcus Garvey movement was very strong, and the Rastafari movement was really emerging. In the East, you had the Mystic Revolution, Counters and Mystic Revolution of Rastafari just coming out of Warwick Hill. And all of those things and all those teachings was going on at that time gave birth to a kind of a spiritual movement in the music.
Bob Marley was one of them who took to the music and the teachings. Marley had been around from the ska era. In 1961, he and a couple of his brethren, Peter Tosh and Bunny Livingston, formed the Rude Boys, which later became known as the Wailers.
Joe Higgs would then teach the Wailers harmonies, while the planners would be getting the teachings, the spiritual teachings from a Mortimer planner, who a lot of elders will be in that yard, and he would sit and listen and talk and so forth. So that is how the influence came to have a Bob Marley, you know, because of what was happening around him, you know.
The teachings were often put to music in either Sir Coxson's Studio One or Duke Reid's Treasure Isle recording studios. The recording sessions overflowed with free-spiritedness and an abundance of talent. Hits were made by ear.
Groups back in the day used to hang underneath the same tree that we are right here now. And we used to sit down and write songs. A man bring a little bass guitar and write a song, you know what I mean? Silvertone start a tune a Lone Ranger may come in, the Claridonians, they are Gala, them days the BBC and the Gilas used to be here and they used to audition and stuff like that.
At any time at all you would see in Studio One, you would see the Heptones in that corner, Bob Marley and the Wailers there, Toots and the Maytel over there, and so forth, you know, Master Griffiths over here and so forth, Bob and there. And all of those artists would be in the yard with a guitar, writing songs and rehearsing those songs, getting ready to go inside the studio, because it was like a recording machine in there, you know, this day for you, this day for me, and so forth. And at times when if a harmony was needed, you know, you'd come out and say, Heptones, come and put some harmony on this, or, you know, gay lads, come and do, you know, and everybody was just working together.
Now introducing to the world the group called the Silvertones Live and Direct. See, and see if you don't believe me, just kiss me neck. Come in, Silvertones.
It's best to rise with a smile on your face, just like a sunshine all over the place. Don't be like the night when it's dark, 'cause darling, you're the nearest to my heart. Why won't you dance? Right. Dance, dance this reggae music, dance, come on, dance, dance this rebel music. Your friends all say that you must dance with me. Now, darling, why won't you let it be? Don't stick around and just look at me. Why won't you dance, dance, dance this reggae music?
Studio One happens to be the station.
Studio One is widely regarded as the mecca of reggae music.
Studio One is called the University of Reggae Music. And as an artist, if you didn't work your way through that university, you would not be a complete artist.
This is the Motown of the Caribbean. Everything started right here, so, you know, so right now you have to give a lot of respect to Mr. Dodd because he had a very good ear for music.
Whilst he is not familiar with playing musical instruments, he certainly had amazing attitude in terms of what people want to dance to and what people want to listen to. He made that distinction. He had that very fine distinction.
Sir Coxsone Dodd soon realized that if Studio One could make the records, then they could own and distribute them.
It came to him that if he had his own recording, then you couldn't go anywhere and buy something that he had unless he released it. And I think based on that premise, his penchant to want to go into recording business started.
Cutting out the middleman bore Coxsone tremendous success.
There were sessions at Studio One 5 days per week. It was an industry. It was a machinery. The musicians would come in every day. They'd be on a weekly salary, and they were asked to play a minimum of 4, maximum 8 songs a day. So in this 2008, the Coxsone vault of unreleased material is very sound, I mean, in terms of volume.
We've come to the end of today's program. We sign off from your television screens, but the information continues to flow on our social media pages. For more on Reggae Month and other relevant news, click on our YouTube channel, Twitter and Facebook pages. You may also download our Google app to always stay in the know. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.